Hello, let's talk about parables, fables, and allegory. You won't necessarily get into a lot of analysis regarding these, but allegory tends to be rather important. Let's start with the easiest, the fable. Fables usually are short, they usually involve animals, we usually tell them to children, and they have some sort of a lesson. Okay. Tortoise and the hare, fable. Parable, we get a lot of them. Usually, when you talk about parables, you almost always talk about the Bible. And there's several, very famous parables in the Bible. They teach a moral or religious lesson. Prodigal son tends to be one of the best ones of a parable. Short story, usually regular characters, and it teaches a moral or a lesson. Sometimes some of the old folk tales get into this as well. Some folk tales, if you read the originals, don't make any sense. Now, allegory, the most literary of one, because it usually involves an entire novel, and you're picking apart parts of the novel to teach lessons, but that are important for the day. They're important for that specific time. And in that case, you do tend to get into a little bit of historical criticism, in that you're actually having to look at that time period and how the work functions within it. Perfect example, maybe we should read it for one of the future Lit 110s, is The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz has multiple allegories going on. L. Frank Baum was keenly aware of the lessons that he wanted, or the points he wanted to make about that particular day and age. Let's actually look at some of the easiest ones. The three protagonists that help Dorothy are all allegories. The Scarecrow represents a thoughtless agrarian rural past. Okay, the lion is fear of animals, right? And then the Tin Man is the heartless pursuit of technology. That one's deep. He doesn't have a heart, and he's all tin. Now, there are also major embedded pieces of allegory in this. L. Frank Baum desperately did not want to leave the gold standard, which is where we base all of our money on how much gold we have in Fort Knox, essentially. And then we can only ground the value of money to gold, but gold also changes, right? And so it's right. We're off the gold standard. Frank L. Baum's Wizard of Oz didn't change that. But the yellow brick road that they follow definitely is an allegory toward the gold standard. Follow the yellow brick road, it'll lead you to safety. Right. So allegories do persist in some, not all, writing, and so it's going to be one of the least used analyses that we use. However, it can be a really powerful way to analyze literature. So if you feel an allegory coming on, if you feel as though that piece of literature said something about that day and time using some symbolism through the characters, the setting, or motif, right, whatever, then feel free to analyze that. They always make for very, very complex and interesting thoughts. So have fun out there.